Welcome to another episode of World of Africa on WION World is One. I'm Kaldanongmu, bringing to you the show from Pretoria, South Africa. And this week, our special focus is on Sudan, where close to 50 million people are staring at a famine amid a raging conflict for power between the military and paramilitary forces. On the 23rd of August, as Sudan marked the 500th day of gruesome civil war that has ravaged the nation, US brokered truce talks in Switzerland, aiming to finally end the conflict, collapsed after mediators failed to convince the military to come to the negotiation table. While agreement over aid transit was signed, the deals are being seen more as symbolic progress than a concrete path to peace. More details in our next report.
A renowned African proverb says that when two elephants fight, it is the grass that gets trampled. In Sudan, however, it's not grass, but rice, wheat, barley, corn, sorghum, and the availability of various foodstuffs that has been left decimated. This as the civil war between the Sudanese armed force and the Rapid Support Force leaves the region reeling from hunger, sowing nothing but chaos and strife in its wake. Last week, nearly 5,000 kilometers away in a quaint Swiss ski resort, truce talks led by American and Arab diplomats came to an inconclusive end. After 10 days of negotiations and with the absence of the Sudanese military, mediators failed to broker a ceasefire. Addressing the military's refusal to participate, Army Chief Abdel Fattah al-Burhan took aim at the UAE's presence at the talks as the reason for their absence. Burhan stated that he refuses to participate in expanding Jeddah's platform in mediating conflicts on a global stage.
We don't undermine the rights of the Sudanese people. We will keep fighting for 50, for 100 years unless the Rapid Support Forces are destroyed and we liberate every inch they have desecrated. This war will not end.
And with no end to the war in sight, agreements to deliver food and medicine were the only semblances of some headway to peace awarded to the people of Sudan.
We need those leaders inside Sudan, and we need those in the international community to understand that every hour is an opportunity to save lives. Every hour is an opportunity to get more food and medicine across. And as we speak, decisions will be made about whether the 15 or so trucks that crossed the Adre are the beginning of hundreds or yet another loss of hope.
The SAF, which controls a majority of the nation's territory, finally allowed a World Food Programme aid convoy carrying sorghum, pulses, oil and rice to cross into the country from its Chadian side at the Adre border post.
The Adre crossing from Chad is the most effective and the most direct way for us to deliver humanitarian assistance to Sudan at a scale and speed required to respond to the huge hunger crisis in the country. The World Food Programme tells us that trucks can cross into Darfur from Adre and then reach key distribution points in that very same day, basically in one day.
The agreement allowing the flow of food aid is, however, for a meagre period of 3 months, with merely 15 of the 131 waiting aid trucks being allowed to cross the border. Many believe this move to be nothing but a lick and a promise by one of the warring sides, both of whom have weaponized hunger in the region. While high-ranking commanders and spokespersons of the RSF deny reports of loot and plunder, RSF raiding parties have been seen marauding villages in the region frequenting Sudan's central El Gezira state, a key farming region and strategic crossroads just south of the capital Khartoum. Residents have alleged that RSF fighters periodically clean out stocks of wheat and other crops, block farmers from accessing their field and regularly kill, abduct and sexually assault members of rural farming communities. The RSF has taken some measures to curb atrocities. Early in the war, the paramilitary set up an internal police force to investigate abuses, culminating in the arrest of thousands of men, mostly locals, in El Gezira. RSF negotiators present at the Swiss truce talks showed the same willingness to clamp down on abuses being committed by their men.
We've gotten an agreement from the Rapid Support Forces for a code of conduct that will be issued to their soldiers. We'll have many of the basics of international humanitarian law, including protections of women and protections related to farming and the harvest, so that we can look at the issues not just of the current famine, but how we begin.
However, these incremental gains are being outpaced by the severity of the human tragedy in the region. 3 weeks from the day the UN-accredited Integrated Food Security Phase Classification IPC system declared famine in parts of Darfur, Sudan's health ministry has declared a cholera epidemic, with the WHO reporting over 27 cases of cholera with 316 deaths and counting. Moreover, cases of dengue fever and meningitis infections are also on the rise across the region. With the civil war passing the 500-day mark on the same day as the inconclusive truce talks in Switzerland came to an end, many are left wondering what truly is the prize for the victor in this conflict. An epidemic that threatens the entire region, a refugee crisis that has left 12 million Sudanese displaced, or a famine that endangers close to 50 million people. For there may not be even grass left to trample when this conflict finally ends. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
A private sector-led initiative in South Africa, that's the Indian South Africa Chamber of Commerce, is looking to promote the country's businesses in the Indian market. It will also work as a platform to facilitate private sector involvement in both the countries. Here's more.
The South Africa-India Chamber of Commerce was officially inaugurated recently by South Africa's Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition, Parks Tau. Government representatives and captains of industry from both India and South Africa attended the launch. Tau said the South African government is aiming to generate growth while creating sustainable jobs and eradicating poverty. He added that an inclusive economy can only be achieved through collaboration with private sector.
We believe that the India-South Africa Chamber of Commerce will play a significant role in facilitating trade and investment between the two countries. Ladies and gentlemen, South Africa is committed to strengthening bilateral trade and investment with India.
India and South Africa are celebrating the 30th anniversary of their diplomatic relations this year. Both countries have deep-rooted historical ties and a history of cooperation. The milestone year has also seen significant achievements on the bilateral trade front. According to official statistics, bilateral trade between the two nations has crossed $19 billion. India's exports to South Africa in 2022 to 2023 amounted to $8.5 million, while India's imports from South Africa were nearly $10.4 million. South Africa is India's second largest sub-Saharan trading partner after Nigeria. Indian companies have a large presence in the country. The main areas of engagement are pharmaceuticals, IT, automobiles, banking, and mining. South African officials are optimistic that there is more room for better trade ties between the two countries.
India is a dynamic market, the fastest growing major economy today, tremendous opportunities. And I think a platform like this can serve to bring the private sector from both countries closer together to look at mutually beneficial partnerships and see how we can accelerate involvement in each other's economy for the benefit of both.
Bureau Report, WION World is One.
Namibia is one of the real success stories of world cricket. It will be history in the making when Namibia will co-host the 2027 Men's Cricket World Cup with South Africa and Zimbabwe. In 2021, the country qualified for the T20 World Cup and beat the Netherlands and Ireland to reach the Super 12 stage. They followed that up by qualifying for the 2022 and 2024 T20 World Cups. However, there is still much work to be done to lift Namibia up the cricket ladder. Ahead of the World Cup, a small club in Walvis Bay got a shot in the arm from delivery of a pavilion and equipment, thanks to ICC and help of sponsors.
With a population of just 2.6 million spread over thousands of miles of desert, limited facilities and only 9 cricket grounds, progress has been miraculous. It's all part of the Beyond Boundaries initiative, which has seen 2,500 kits and 10 containers delivered to grassroots cricket in countries including India, South Africa, Barbados, the United States, the UAE and now Walvis Bay, Namibia. Namibia's second city, after Windhoek, has a thriving cricket community at the Khoisan Stadium complex, but they desperately need equipment.
Yeah, the container is like a new ray of sunshine for us. Like DP World sponsoring us means so much. We get new equipment. We don't have to be like waiting 2-3 people to pair up on just once. And then we can have like a whole team pairing up the same time so we can all be ready.
Very few of the hundreds of kids in Walvis Bay have their own bats and pads. So this injection of kits, added to more coaches and facilities, will help lift them so that perhaps one day they will represent their country, like bowler Ben Chikongo, the 27-year-old who took 4 wickets against Oman last month.
Playing cricket here on a tennis court was difficult for us. I mean, we kind of love the sport, but still, yet again, being got the opportunity to represent my country and to represent my family, the kids here, it's just quite an amazing feeling for me and it's just a big pleasure for me. That's all I do it for, it's mostly for the kids from Christopher.
Chikongo is likely to be part of the Namibia squad that will take part in the 2027 World Cup, when for the first time the country will play host to World Cup matches in Windhoek. But challenges remain for Cricket Namibia.
And that's our challenge in Namibia, because we've got these incredible athletes in Namibia, all over the country at vast distances, 2,000 kilometers from each other. And the challenge is to find those athletes and bring them into the cricket system. We've seen with some of our players that come from rural areas that have come through our system, guys like Ben Chikongo.
Africa Bureau, WION World is One.
Food can bring people together in a way nothing else can. This saying comes to life in Tripoli city in Libya. A vibrant summer festival welcomed a cookery competition with traditional and unique dishes from countries such as Italy, Morocco, Turkey and Palestine. The festival also allowed visitors to discover the cultural richness of the culinary arts in the country. Here's a detailed report.
Top chefs from various countries showcase their talent at a special global food festival in Tripoli's Old Town. They cooked scrumptious meals and snacks, offering locals and visitors the opportunity to sample the best of international cuisine while immersing themselves in a fun-filled festival with friends and family.
Cultures manifest themselves through writing, poetry and even cuisine, which is an integral part of a people's identity. Today we'd like to explore different cultures, starting with Indonesian, Moroccan, Turkish loop and then Libyan cuisine.
Every chef brought out the best cuisine from their respective home nation. Locals supported them with applause and encouraged them. Palestinian cuisine got a special mention from the locals.
We express our solidarity with the Palestinian people, and even with a simple gesture, we want to highlight the culture of this beleaguered people. Today, we are celebrating Palestinian cuisine, in particular, the traditional dish, msakhan.
The Summer Days Festival was launched last month by Libya's Government of National Unity. It is set to run for 2 months in the capital. The festival will feature a wide range of cultural, entertainment, artistic and sports activities. Many of the contests and events are being organized for the first time in Libya. The festival brought together youth, children, women, older people, and families.
We came to the Old Town to attend the Kujina Cuisine Festival. There were a variety of cuisines, including Syrian and Tunisian. Yesterday, we tasted Tunisian cuisine, and today it's the turn of the Palestinian cuisine, with the dish of the day, isakha.
Libya's tourism industry had taken a hit because of insecurity and political instability in the country. After security beef up, however, tourism is slowly starting to flourish once again. Libyan government authorities expressed hope that similar events will soon take place in cities across Libya, bringing communities together through a celebration of culture and recreation. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
Otaku culture has taken a grip on Zimbabwe. The capital city Harare is celebrating the second edition of the Otaku-kun anime convention, with young Zimbabwean costume playing or dressing up as manga and anime characters. Most of them made stitched together with their own hands, imbued with the passion for the culture that in recent years has taken all corners of the world by storm. Take a look.
As 28-year-old Gabriel Ota takes the stage at a gardened compound in Zimbabwe's capital city, Harare, the crowd breaks into cheers. Gabriel, who at Otaku-con goes by the moniker Ota-sensei, is dressed in the garbs of Jin Sakai, a samurai on the quest to protect Japan from the first Mongol invasion. The protagonist of the blockbuster Japanese game Ghost of Tsushima, Ota, an art dealer and musician for a local rock band, has spent over a month creating a chalky samurai outfit out of cardboard, recycled wrapping materials and paper.
People actually sewing the jeans together, sewing the tops, and we have that particular segment so that we can help our cosplayers and push them so that they can compete internationally, because that's our dream. Want to see Zimbabwean cosplayers going to compete in South Africa, because we've seen whoever wins the South African cosplay competition gets to go to Chicago for CEC2, which is a big convention. So these are all the opportunities that lie in there, and that's the biggest reason why the DIY one exists.
Gabriel is not alone in his handcrafted endeavor. Most attendees have patched together their costumes from readily available materials, either purchased as stationery, hardware and fabric shops, even stuff lying around their homes. These cosplays, however, are imbued with passion for anime, manga and gaming. The festival, celebrating Japanese pop culture, now in its second iteration, claims to be the only one of its kind in Zimbabwe, bringing together otakus from around the country. While anime culture is growing, the community remains small. Some enthusiasts are considering subtitling and dubbing anime and running fresh prints of manga in local languages and dialects to expand the reach of the medium.
A lot of the times, the holders of the resources to tell stories are foreign, right? So they will look at Africa and they will tell a generalized view. They can, most of the time, distinguish between Zambia, Zimbabwe, Malawi, Mozambique, but we know it, we can hear it, we can see it, we can feel it. It's tangible for us. And for us to tell the stories ourselves gives it an authenticity that no one else can tell.
For the Zimbabwe cosplaying community, the struggle is compounded. Many of these budding artists do not have either the reach or the cultural means to be noticed and picked up by international competitions looking to showcase cosplay culture from around the world.
I think what we need to do is consistency. We just need to consistently hold these events, and then over time there'll be an appreciation for what we're doing.
The passion to pursue otaku culture is a luxury few young Zimbabweans have time to indulge in. With unemployment and the soaring cost of living weighing heavily on young Zimbabweans, a space for storytelling and imagining other realities appeared a welcome distraction. But those concerns can wait another day. For Ota Sensei, it is a momentous occasion. Thanks to garnering the loudest cheers from the audience, Gabriel has bagged the prize for Best Costume.
I've been coming to these events, and I think this is my first time winning. I'm usually second runner, so I wasn't sure. I don't do it to win, because I just love the whole cosplaying stuff. And I love costumes. So it's not merely to win; it's for fun.
Bureau Report, WION World is One.
I'm Kaldanongmo. Thanks for watching this week's episode of World of Africa. Stay in touch with us on all our social media platforms and tell us about the show there. Until next time, it's a bye from me.